All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to get into a variety of topics, but this first one is going to be spicy. That's for sure. I know some of you are going to be a little triggered by this topic, but there is potentially a way to get a Tesla Model Y for a low price of $36,490 in the great state of California. And so we'll talk about it, right? Because there's other states, there's there's the $7,500 tax credit, of course, that almost a lot of people do qualify for. And then there's also state incentives that where I'm drawing, this inspiration for this video and this topic, I'm drawing from another article, which I'll show, and also another YouTuber that made something very similar. But there are ways, and I know a lot of buyers out there are California, like where we are at right now. And there's a lot of state incentives as well. So we'll talk about some of that and how you could potentially get a cheap, low, inexpensive Tesla Model Y for $36,490. So of course we're gonna get into that, plus a variety of topics. And of course on these live streams there's Q&A. So if you want to drop any questions in the chat, we'll happily get to that later on during this video. And so, we'll just expand, because I know there's a lot of people that are on the fence with buying a Tesla or just bought a Tesla. And so there's tons of great topics out there that maybe we can turn into a video as well. But before we get into that, let's roll that intro real quick. Thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis, and I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon, down below in the description if you want to support the channel. And thank you to my newest Patreon members, Billy, Michael, Greg, Jacob, and Spike. Thank you all for supporting. Thank you all for joining. If you want to check it out, down below in the description, there's a good amount of benefits. All right, so let's just jump into it. Do I sleep? Yeah, exactly right. So we will get into it. Tesla Model Y, the market, we can talk briefly about what the current inventory situation looks like. Spoiler alert, vehicles are selling, and vehicles are selling fast. We were at 240 Tesla Model Ys, give or take, not too long ago, and now we are down to 126. PSA, all Tesla Model Ys qualify for that $7,500 tax credits if you yourself qualify. And the other PSA to that is that maybe it could go away in March. We don't know if it's a March 1st thing or a March 30th, but there's 126 Tesla Model Ys available for sale you can see here. I'm waiting for Tesla. We also know that Tesla does not, post, they definitely manipulate their inventory online. So of course they probably have more than 126 Tesla Model Ys available. But this one, I just want to briefly show this. This stuck out to me, right? Because something looks off right here. And if you can tell right away, because I certainly can, but here's two Tesla Model 3 all-wheel drives, standard range versions, both in the same exact configuration. One's going to Maryland and the other one's going to Washington, but there's a $500 difference. So this one has the old price, give or take, and I just clicked it not too long ago, and it's still available for sale. I bet if I hit refresh right now, it might certainly disappear. But if you're in the Maryland area, you want one that's a pre-production Tesla Model Y that could be coming, like here you go right here. But so let's get into the topic of this video, right? I know some of you are gonna, flame me for sure. You're gonna be like, that's not actually a $36,490, but well, it's possible. It's possible. It certainly could be to some of you out there, especially if you're someone you in California. But this is where we all start. Of course, we take a base price or the cheapest Model Y that exists right now. So we won't even use this anomaly 50,990. We'll use the 51,490 because that's more easily obtainable. So there's 36 of them right here in California. And so, well, first, let me give credit where credit's due. Shout out to Ryan Shaw. He made this video. Of course, he's got really good titles and really good thumbnails and topics and everything. He probably does, a way better coherent job than me just rambling out like topics. So definitely check him out. He's got really good content. I would say he's probably one of the better YouTubers, the Tesla YouTubers out there. If we were to take a look at all of them, him and of course, Andy Slay. Anyways, but yeah, this is where I got the inspiration from. And this is where he referenced it from. This article from Inside EVs talks about a Portland, Oregon incentive that stacks with the federal tax credit that might get you a Model 3 for $27,000. But we're not about Model 3 here, right? We talk about the Model Y because the Model Y is probably the more sold vehicle here. It seems like whenever I do Model Y videos, it does a lot better, but this is where it actually comes into play. So let's say you take a Model Y that's base standard range 51,490, and we've done this plenty of times before in the past. If you minus the $7,500 tax credit, that brings it down to a price of $43,990. Of course, there are certain ways that you have to qualify for that tax credit, right? Like income limits, and you have to have the tax out. Basically, to sum it up, to make it easiest as possible for people, if you are a W-2 employee that makes anywhere from $75,000 a year to $150,000 a year, even if you make a little bit more than $150,000, there's ways to get around that, to hack your income, so to speak, to get under there. Then you qualify for the full $7,500 tax credit, and you'll get it back when you file for your taxes in 2024. Or you could use sponsors of the channel like Tenet down below in the description, where you can defer and have a really low monthly payment for your Tesla. You can defer that $7,500 till next year, and you get that tax credit there. A shout out to Tenet for sponsoring some of the videos this month, but check that link down below in the description. But anyways, then we get to a price. If you take the base price of $51,390 right here, you minus the $7,500 tax credit, we get to a price of $43,990. And then you take that $43,990. I wish I put something on the page here, but you take that $43,990 minus another $7,500, and that other extra $7,500 comes from the California Clean Vehicle Rebate Project. And the $7,500 is actually for low income applicants. And before you get on me and say like low income, it's like really low, it's like not even possible to get there, there are certainly ways around that, right? There are people that own businesses. There's maybe 1099 contractors, that have a lot of write-offs, that maybe Uber drivers. There's ways to take advantage of these programs. Talk to a business planner, or maybe even a CPA professional or something, to help you out, hook you up on how you can plan and strategize to get this CVRP program. But anyways, looking at down to some of the eligible the comments for the CVRP, you can see right here, here's the income limits. It's one household size for $54,000. If you make less than that, you qualify for the $7,500, and then it goes down for all this stuff all the way up to a household size of 8. So I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. If you have proper planning, if you have ways to reduce income, stuff like that, then you can certainly get it. I know I just spoke to someone this past week that is buying a Model Y Performance, and they figured out a way, and they're paying cash for it. So if there's a will, there's a way. I guess I want to show this to you guys, that there's certain programs out there that you might not be aware of, and even if you can't qualify for the full extra $7,500 rebate on the CVRP for the Tesla Model 3 and the Model Y, here are the normal programs for the CVRP, which we heard yesterday. A little birdie came to us and said that the CVRP program might actually be going up to $5,000. And so, right now it's only $2,000. So that's $5,000 is almost good as $7,500. It's not as good as $7,500, but if you were to do that, then a Model Y would be $38,490. And here are the qualifications for that. If you're single, you got to make $135,000, head of household $175, and joint filers, married couples, spouses, all that stuff, $200,000. So there's two basically great, fantastic programs. And on top of that, like, even if you were able to, line both of those up absolutely perfectly and get it squared away, there's also, on top of that, there's also, utility incentives as well. Here's a great site, drivecleanca.gov. It goes into all the different incentives that are out there. And I'm pretty sure Tesla has a website as well. I'm not sure how good it is, but yeah, here we go. Here's another one. Electric vehicle solar incentives. Check out this website. There's a ton on this page. You can see all the different states right here. So I think someone said Texas. We can take a quick look here and see like what states are here, and you can click through, read around, Google, all that stuff, and try and figure out, what extra sweet money you can get to get a low, inexpensive Tesla Model 3 or Model Y for $36,000 to $38,000. I know tons of you would love that. That would really make it worth it, on top of like the electric car savings, the maintenance savings, the gas savings if you're not using a supercharger. But the one thing is, though, I do give a caveat. All that other stuff is, your savings saving for sure when you're buying a Tesla, but insurance is 100% more expensive than a normal car. So definitely check out if you're interested. I just want, a quick tip on how to get the Tesla Model Y for a low price. And shout out to Ryan Shaw for sure for, inspiring this type of video. And then, of course, Inside EVs for writing an article on that. So yeah. We're going to get into the comments and some of the questions, but before we get into that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, so definitely check it out down below in the description.